I've been using the Galaxy S25 for 2 months now, and this is the phone I plan to use over the next 7 years, so I will be giving you my full review. So, why I chose the Galaxy S25 instead of the Plus or the Ultra? It all comes down to me wanting a smaller phone. I'm a big small phone guy, 6.2 inch. This is considered compact these days. Back in the days, the Galaxy Note series, Galaxy Note 10 was 6.3 inches, so that was considered big back then, but these days it is considered small. So Galaxy S25 Ultra, it is almost 7 inches and it is too big for one-handed use. And I got a baby, so I'm always holding the baby, I'm chasing him around, putting him to sleep. So one-handed use is key for me. Typing with one hand is still a bit awkward and challenging because even though it is considered compact, it is still a 6.2 inch phone, so pretty big in the grand scheme of things, even when you're laying down and typing. But regardless, I went for a small form factor, so that is why I chose the Galaxy S25. And why did I decide to use this phone for the next 7 years? I actually just got burned out from upgrading all the time. I've been doing this for over 5 years, and phones barely change that much from year to year. So after a while, it becomes more of a chore. It used to be fun, but now it is exhausting. The setup process is still a lot of work, even though everything, there's password managers, there's password key, we still have to authenticate, and sometimes not all the password update correctly. You still have to go in there and update it because maybe I might have used Samsung password at some point, but a lot of my password is still in Google Cloud, and it is a lot of work to set up every single phone and customize it the way that you want, put the icons where you want. It drains a lot of energy, so it's not really worth it for me to switch phones every single year anymore. And even the manufacturers are telling you that themselves because they're supporting their phones for up to 7 years, where previously it was only up to 5 years. So these phones are more than well equipped to last you in the long run. Even my Galaxy S20 that I had before is still working fine to this day. It's a tad slow, but it's not unusable by any means. And before using the Galaxy S25, I was using the Galaxy S24 for at least one whole year. And I decided to trade in because I did not treat my Galaxy S24 that well. No case, no screen protector. Back in the days when I was always leasing phone and changing phone, I didn't really care that much if they get damaged or scratched. I don't plan to use them for the long run. So that phone was a whole lot of hurt. Scratches all over the screen, dents around the edges. But now that I'm using the Galaxy S25 and plan to keep it for the long run, I got the case, I got the screen protector, so fully protected. And one of the biggest benefit of having a case for the Galaxy S25 is the Qi 2 wireless charging. So basically MagSafe for Android. This is one of the features I've been eyeing for a while, and then I've been pretty jealous that Apple had it, but Samsung and Android did not have it. Although it's not technically built within the phone, but you can get it with a case. It isn't the worst thing in the world, but it does come in handy. And I think T2 wireless charging, it does come in handy. One of the biggest downfall of having a Samsung phone is if you're showering with it, sometimes you're washing your hand, a little water get into the port and then the phone just wouldn't charge. You gotta put the phone basically laying straight up so the water can slowly come out over time. And Samsung has been extra cautious with the battery charging ever since the Note 7 exploding battery fiasco. So now any little bit of water that get in, sometime depending on what phone you have, or it gets in the weird spot, it can be stuck in there for days, if not weeks. When I went to Iceland at the Blue Lagoon and I brought my phone into the hot spring, the water was stuck in there and I couldn't use my phone for the whole vacation. So wireless charging is key. But now with the Qi 2 wireless charging, you can just get one of those magnetic snap on charger on the back. You can slap it on and carry the phone around, use it. Versus back then, you have to physically put on the dock, and that is really inconvenient. So that's how you gotta, yeah, this is not feasible to use, and you have to leave it there slower charging. But with Qi 2 these days, a lot of the phone, a lot of battery pack, they come with fast wireless charging, and it has the wireless charging that you can snap in the back of the phone. So game changing there. Great for travel, no wires needed. Well, you still need the wire to charge up the battery pack at the end of the night. Even though it's a little bit slower, it's still pretty helpful. And even though I don't like using cases, this one does come in handy. And quick pro tip, when you're buying a screen protector, make sure you're looking for one that is ultrasonic fingerprint scanner capable. Initially, I just bought any random screen protector, didn't look into it, so I had a hard time unlocking my phone. So I had to buy a different one that is ultrasonic capable. And it just works so much better. Sometimes you have to enter your fingerprint scanner a few times, uncheck a box to make sure that you're resetting everything and turn on the sensitivity. And it's been working fine for me. Don't overthink it. At the end of the day, it's just a piece of glass and a rubber protecting your phone. All these screen protectors and phone case pretty much work the same, so don't overthink it. Just look for the best deal, decent review, and go for that. And with the Galaxy S24 and 25, the biggest features that you've always been hearing, and everyone these days is talking about AI. I don't really use it that much. The one that I use the most is probably the AI sound recording. You have this on the Google Pixel as well, so it's great for meeting, taking notes. You can summarize the meeting, so that's pretty helpful. I usually go back and search my notes there. Another feature that's pretty cool is the noise eraser. So you're walking around, recording videos at the train station like me, cars driving by, train driving by, airplane. You can essentially erase all the background noise, and I think that is game changing. And another reason why I chose the upgrade to the Galaxy S25 is I basically got it for free, so it's a no-brainer. Traded in my old Galaxy S20 and got this phone for free. With a 2-year agreement, of course, I gotta stick with T-Mobile for 2 years, which is fine. I plan to stay with them anyways. And that's one of the biggest benefits of having a Samsung or iPhone. There's always a lot of great deals with these, especially if you don't mind being locked to a carrier. I really like OnePlus as a company, but they don't have these deals because they don't have deals with the carrier. So as much as I love OnePlus phone, they're not going to succeed in the US in particular because the majority of people do still buy the phone through the carrier. And with great deals like these, it's hard to turn down. And the improvement in itself from the Galaxy S25 to the Galaxy S24 is not much. You will notice slight changes around the camera ring, but that's just for design purposes. It really has no additional benefit. But if you're using this phone in the shower, the speaker is actually pretty loud. I listen to music and podcasts. With the Galaxy S24, I am struggling to hear a podcast. But with the S25, I hear everything just fine. So pretty significant upgrade there. I didn't do any decibel testing or anything like that. Just a normal person ear test, and it's just simply louder than the Galaxy S24 after using it for a year. Battery life is just okay, even though it's a newer chip, more efficient. It typically lasts about 12 to 14 hours. Not game changing by any mean. Initially, when I had it, the first day it did last me about 24 hours, but that's when I only had a couple apps on. Once you start installing everything, getting it to the way that you normally use it, every little app, it drains the battery, even if it's a 0.5% or 0.01. Having a ton of app just kills the battery more in the long run. So you do have to top this phone throughout the day. And I did turn on my battery protection to max. So it's never going to charge to 100%. It's going to hit 80% and stop. And in general, I tend to keep this phone between 80 and 20%. Because if you want to keep it for the long run, that's the best way to protect the battery. Don't overcharge it, don't overheat it, and it should last you for a while. Some of the other small quality of life improvement is the search bar. If you go into the app screen, swiping up, I like how the search menu is at the bottom. Makes life a little bit easier with phones being larger these days. Another thing that you do get a small upgrade on is the front camera. It goes from 10 megapixel to 12 megapixel. You're not going to notice the difference, but there's still a slight bump nonetheless. Now let's get to the annoying stuff. The base model is only 128 gigabyte, which is tiny by today's standards. I actually paid an extra $50 just to get the 256 gigabyte model. It's still a little light, but it's usable, but 128 is unbearable, especially photos, videos, apps. It takes up majority of phones, so you need that extra 128 gigabyte. So do yourself a favor and just get the extra storage if you plan to keep this phone for 7 years. And initially with the new One UI, you had to swipe down twice to access the notification, and I don't really like that. I find that to be more annoying. Where you can swipe left and right, you can swipe left or right, but that's just extra work. So actually go into the panel setting and revert it back to the way it was before. It's just easier for me. One swipe, you can access the notification and icon at the same time. So it can be fixed, but it's not intuitive, and you really have to look into it. It's just something minor, but that's one of the first things I turned on once I switched over to the Galaxy S25 because I did not like the new UI interface to access the notification. So my final thoughts: Galaxy S25 fits my needs. It is small, it has some cool AI tricks, but if they take it away, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I know Samsung might be potentially charging a subscription model down the line, and when or if they do, I'm just gonna not pay for it because it's nice to have, but it's not life changing. I do like the MagSafe charging and the 7 years of software support, and I think this phone will last me fine in the long run. I can update you guys again in a few months if anything changes, but overall it's safe, it's reliable, and I think it's a good phone to use if you plan to keep it for the long run. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, and comments below. Appreciate the time as always, and see you guys in the next video.